So you're wanting to know how to buy bank-owned homes, or also known as REOs, which is real estate owned properties. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to buy bank-owned homes. Hey guys, if you're new here, my name is James Holloway and I'm a real estate investor. My job here on YouTube is to help you achieve financial freedom through real estate investing. So if you're interested in real estate investing as a whole, subscribe to this YouTube channel, turn on bell notifications so you get notified every single time I upload a real estate video. Let's be really clear what a bank-owned property is, or it's also known as an REO property, real estate owned property. So this is how the process works, is a bank sends out a notice to a homeowner that has defaulted on their mortgage. They haven't paid the bank their monthly mortgage. Now, after they give them that notice, a homeowner has a certain amount of time to pay them back the back payment and their current payment. If they don't do that, the bank is going to foreclose on the property. So basically, in other words, a bank-owned property is just a foreclosed home. After the bank forecloses on the home, they now have the opportunity to sell it at auction. What does that mean? It's literally on the doorsteps of the bank. They're like, hey, who wants this property for $50, whatever, right? So if it doesn't sell at auction, the bank takes back this property and it's an REO, real estate owned property. The bank owns it now. After that, the bank is going to assign this property an asset manager. And this asset manager is all his or her job is to sell this property. Most of the time, this asset manager is going to get in contact with a real estate agent that they have determined that's their specific real estate agent they're going to give all their listings to. Here's a key thing I want you to do. Get in touch with these asset managers or the REO department. That is key. It's going to give you a critical advantage whenever it comes to picking up off-market deals, because think about this. If this property, it didn't sell at auction. Most of the times it doesn't sell at auction because people don't even know about these properties going to auction. So the bank takes this property back, and if you can have an inside man like the asset manager that says, hey, James, we have this new property that just got foreclosed on. We need to get rid of it in 15 to 30 days. Do you want it? That is so vital to have. That's another part of your deal funnel that you want to have in your back pocket, because if you have this foreclosed home and they're a bank, they're wanting to sell this property because they're not in the home selling business. They're into the lending money business. So they're just wanting to get it off their hands, off their books. Now, how do you get in contact with these REO departments or the asset manager? Call around to local banks asking to speak with their REO department or their asset manager. If you're talking to this person that is the asset manager, have their contact saved in your phone. Get an email conversation going with them so you know who they are. And more importantly, they know who you are. So whenever they get a deal, they're bringing it straight to you. Now, what if you can't get in touch with the asset manager or the REO department of these banks? You remember what I said about these REO departments or asset managers? They have a specific real estate agent they're going to and giving these REO properties to them so they can put it on the MLS. Here's what you do. You're going to call around to these real estate agent firms and you're going to talk to people asking them, hey, who is your REO agent? Who gets all these listings? Who gets bank-owned properties? Get in touch with them. Tell them what you're looking for. And then if they get this real estate owned property, this bank owned property, they're going to send it to you. And now you have another leg up in the game. It's another way of getting off market deals. Now you might be thinking to yourself, that takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to build these relationships with the banks, build relationships with these real estate agents. What if there's a simpler way? I have that simpler way. And you're getting some value out of this video, hit that like button, turn it blue. It tells the YouTube algorithm that this video is worth watching, and I'd really appreciate it. There's a website out there called foreclosure.com. There's going to be a link in the description down below for you to click on, and that's going to take you to this website, and you're going to be able to find all of foreclosed homes in a specific area you're wanting to invest in. Now, how do you know if it's a bank-owned property? great news. Whenever you go into foreclosure.com, you can scroll down, you can see who owns that foreclosed home. Now, it's going to say if it's a bank, if it's going to say if it's a type of company. It just takes a Google search and you can find out if that the company is a bank or not. Most of the times it's going to say bank in it, obviously. You're just going to do a simple Google search and you're going to call them up. You call them, you ask to speak to their asset manager about this certain property at this address, and you're going to be talking to someone that it's going to be the decision maker. That's who you want to be talking to. Because at the end of the day, you want to be having a one-on-one conversation with someone that is making the decision, not a real estate agent that is going to be then communicating with the bank. You want to be in direct contact with these people. Now you know how to find these bank-owned homes. Now let's know how to buy them. Most of the times these banks, they're wanting to know that you can actually perform. So they really prefer all cash offers. And a lot of times they don't like contingencies such as financing, which is why they like all cash offers, and inspection contingencies. If you don't know what those are, it's basically saying, hey, if I can't get financing, I can back out with no repercussions. Same thing with an inspection. Hey, if there's an inspection, I don't like what I see, I can back out of it. So again, most of the time it has to be all cash. So like I've said multiple times on this channel is we probably don't, I know for me, for sure, I don't have enough capital to just buy a foreclosed home all cash. So how do we get around that? How do we get the capital to buy foreclosed homes? Great news is there's a company out there called Fund and Grow, and what they specialize in is business credit cards, and you can use these business credit cards as cash just using a simple company called Plastic, and I'll make another video on that later on down the line. But to put it simply, Fund and Grow, all they do is they set up an LLC for you. They get you business credit cards, and they're averaging between $50,000 and $250,000 in business credit for you to pull out in cash to buy real estate. And now that you've done that, you have the capital you need to buy real estate. And now that you've went through Fund and Grow, because I know you have, now you have the capital you need to buy these foreclosed homes. Again, here's a really quick note that I say all the time here on the channel. Foreclosed homes and bank-owned homes, they're super risky, right? Because most of the times you can't see inside these properties. And if you don't have a contingency on an inspection, that means that if you're buying in all cash, no inspection contingency, you're going to be stuck with this home and it might have a lot of rehab that you weren't expecting. Here's a quick example is say you bought the property all cash for $100,000. The property is worth $125,000. You're like, oh, sweet, cool. I have $25,000 in equity. Wrong. Now, what if your rehab is costing you $50,000? Because obviously foreclosures are risky. So you didn't know how much is actually going to be needed for a rehab. Well, now you're underwater $25,000. You're like, well, shoot, now what do I do? A lot of times, just keep it and then rent it out until market goes up or you're just breaking even with cash flow. That's the risk you're taking with foreclosed homes. They can be very risky. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer by telling you all that. I'm just trying to give you all the possible risk in a foreclosed home or a bank-owned home, whatever you want to call it. And so I'm just looking out for you guys. But until next video, guys, I'm out. See it.